Welcome back to the Penis Enlargement Show. Vespasian.
Yes, who did not need any enlargement, as you're about to find out, because he was big as Dickus, the original. And we're going to prove that in the next two shows.
No, we're not even talking about Vespasian. We're talking about Titus, his son.
I meant Titus. I said, yeah. Well, the big penis doesn't fall far from the tree. So I meant Titus. Sorry.
Episode 11. He's still besieging Jerusalem.
Well, they brought it on themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, I want you to picture yourself inside Jerusalem. It's the spring of 70 CE. You're standing on one of the northern walls, looking out over the landscape, which is suburbs, the outer suburbs of Jerusalem, because not everyone can afford to live inside the walls. Like nice? when in a few years, America goes full Escape from New York, and you've got walls around your cities to keep the poor people and the immigrants out.
The worst.
Build a wall around all of them.
Right.
Some of you will be able to, like the white and delightsome people, as the Mormons call them, will be able to live inside the walls. And everyone, including you, because you're 1/8 Cherokee, will have to live outside the walls, begging to get in when you get attacked by the Romans. So the Romans, you're looking out over the suburbs, the groves, the farmlands.
Oh, it's beautiful.
The probably the tombs,
trees, the bushes. Yeah.
Of the outer suburbs of Jerusalem. And then you see a Roman general-looking dude on his horse with a handful of cavalry.
And a cloak.
Circling
a really
the
nice
city.
Cloak. Yeah.
Really nice, great cloak.
Right, the best.
Circling around the city, doing what every good general does, and every good thief does. He's casing the joint.
Right.
He's looking for entry points. How can I get in?
Aren't we all?
What's the best way to get? Are we all trying to? We're just trying to get in. That's all I'm thinking about. 24 hours a day. How often do you think about sex? Yes.
Right?
Yes. All the time. How much of it is with Ray? Well,
that's
fair amount.
That's personal. Yeah.
Yeah.
More than he would like. Right.
From up on the wall, you see him and his escort stop, turn, point, whisper. He's looking for the softest part of your city's skin. He's looking for the part that isn't clenched as tight as it should be.
Exactly. That's right. As tightly.
Josephus, who was with him.
Oh, yeah.
First-hand account, primary account we have with Josephus. Very rare in this show or in any of our shows, really, to have a primary account to go from. Primary testimonial. Like, let's stop for a second and just celebrate what a rare gift that is for the historian or the podcasters pretending to be historians.
Right. That's us.
To be able to read a first-hand primary eyewitness account of something that happened nearly 2,000 years ago.
That's impressive.
That is, let's think about it. So Tacitus isn't primary. Suetonius, no. We had Julius Caesar's own commentaries on Gaul and some of his later wars. We had Cicero for a while, talking about what was going on in his day.
Oh, yeah.
Smatterings of poems and letters from people after that, but that's really it. Like, we don't have primary sources, I think, from Rome, except for this. This is kind of Rome. Josephus is a Jew who ends up as part of the Roman circle, but To
Yeah.
have a primary source is it's a gift. It's also difficult for obvious reasons. Everyone has a bias, whether or not they
Yeah.
know it. But anyway, we have Josephus. Josephus says Titus looked about for a proper place to attack, and the conclusion he came to was the same that any good Roman general would, or engineer. Where the city
Yeah.
was the weakest was the north. Most of Jerusalem, as we've said over and over with these episodes, was protected by really deep ravines, really steep drops, really high walls. But on the north, the ground was a little flatter. The first wall was a little lower. The second wall didn't quite tie into the first wall properly.
Right.
And there was this monument of John the High Priest. Who was John the High Priest? Ray?
Ooh. I don't know, but before I go on and expound on for the next 10 minutes about how much I don't know, I did want to say that the first and second walls were built by Union. Really good stuff. The third wall, they just got whoever. And so not only is newer, it's not as well placed together, and it's also vulnerable for that point. But who is John the high priest? Is he the one? No, is he the one who was betrayed? He betrayed, because there was like three factions for a while, and they're trying to kill each other almost as much as they're trying to kill the Romans. So was he the stabby or the stabber is how I should ask that question.
What? Say that again?
The three sections of Jews inside Jerusalem were all vying for power, and they're all killing each other, warring with each other. They're about to come together in a way, but not yet. And I just remember when we ended the last episode, Simon ben
right.
Arenas, the former high priest, joined with John because John was able to sneak a bunch of his guys in and kill a whole bunch of zealots. And so I'm getting the names. I'm not sure which John this is.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they would have killed one of these guys and then built a monument to him while they're being attacked
So
by the Romans
not
overnight.
one of the
No.
three. Right.
No,
Okay.
no.
So this was the big
He's-
John.
This is, yeah, the big John. Yeah, this is hundreds of years earlier was this
Gotcha.
John the High Priest, apparently.
Mm.
It was a Hasmonean era tomb. And the way it had been built and attached to the walls is kind of flaky. It wasn't very well thought through. It was a rush job, budget job.
Oh, the worst.
I think the same people who built the residential towers in Hong Kong that burned down this week must have been hired to build this. So from here, he thinks, Titus this is, he can reach the second and third walls, the upper city, the Antonia fortress, and eventually get to the temple himself. But before he attacks, he does what every good general does. He just starts bombing their boats and saying they were carrying drugs. No, wait, that's President Trump.
It's a different great leader. Go ahead.
He sends a peace envoy to try, look, before we start killing each other, let's try and make a deal. Who does he send to attempt to make peace with the Jews, Ray?
Well, I don't know if you know the saying, and because it's not really used that much anymore, because it's slightly offensive, but if you're going to haggle with a Jew, you send a Jew. There's got to be a better way to say that. But no, Titus sends in, I mean, he's got an inside ace, right? He's got an inside guy. So he sends Josephus to ride up to the third wall, not too close, because bad things tend to happen to you if you're not on their side and you get too close to the wall. So he's like, look, felicitations. I don't know the words exactly, but basically you should surrender. We've got a lot of troops here. We've already started leveling, ground to come closer to you. And this is not going to end well for you. And my big boss here, Big T, Titus, wants you to surrender. I think it's the best deal. He'll show you mercy. If you don't, it's not going so good. And the reason Josephus was sincerely asking them to surrender was not only to please Titus, but his wife, his brother, and his parents were still inside Jerusalem, as far as he knew. Alas, the Jews, prickly, prickly people, I think we can all agree, said, thank you for the invite, but no, we're going to decline. Now let's get back to the fighting. That's a short version. You might have something more, but basically, yeah, they said, give up now before it gets ugly. And they said, go fuck yourself. So we're still going to do this. Do you have more?
Yeah, but
I doubt it, but
I
do you have
do.
more?
I
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
Don't doubt it. Josephus didn't go alone. He went with a guy called Nicanor, one of Titus's main guys, who must
Right.
have had negotiations or diplomatic contact with them before, because the sources say he was known to them. He was a trusted
Gotcha.
face, and they were going to send a pigeon with a message on
Step
it,
one.
but
Right.
they were out of pigeons.
Right.
So
Well, they ate them all.
they sent an arrow with the message on it, and the arrow went into Nicanor's shoulder, and that was their message.
Right.
Now, they may have written a little note on it saying, thank you very much. Sorry, we're out of pigeons. Hope this arrow finds you well.
Right.
But the Romans didn't bother to try and read the message. They just took that as a sign that the Jews were not open to negotiations, because they shot Nicanor with an arrow.
So
that's it.
Yeah.
I think in official siege diplomacy, that's the equivalent of no thanks, we're good. Okay, I'll ask him, but I don't think he'll be very interested. We've already got one, you see.
We're all good here.
Yeah.
So he got too close, and because I looked up because one of the books we're using kept saying Jewish dart, and I looked that up, and it's like a light spear, a light javelin or whatever thrown by the hand, but because it's lighter than the more hefty things, it could probably go a greater distance. They got too close, and some javelin Jew motherfucker, I can't believe I just said that, hoisted his petard
there's a sound clip,
and got the guy in the shoulder. So clearly,
wow,
there is going to be no peace anytime soon. The only peace is the peace they make.
Do you know who shot the dart?
Jew hammer. I'm not surprised.
Love the Jews.
I am.
Love the Jews.
Well, that one
Jew
guy
hammer.
with the dart in his shoulder did not. Anyway.
Yeah.
So he tried. Titus tried. Let's have peace before I kick the ever-living shit out of you. And they said, no, bring it on.
So Titus gives orders to burn it all down. He went Vespasian on the outer suburbs.
Yeah. Hey, fuck them. Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
That's basically what he said. That's what he said.
Well, like you said, they heard
Highlander.
something.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's better to burn out than to fade away. So
I like that.
He sets fire to everything outside of the walls. Clears it, burns it, demolishes it, flattens everything. And if you're in the city, you're up on a wall looking out, all of those homes, those tombs, those orchards, little monuments to this, that, and the other.
Yeah, they're probably really old.
Gone.
Yeah.
Wiped out, flattened.
Right. But can I say, because you mentioned this on a previous show, Titus isn't only doing this for psychological warfare or to be a penis, if you will. He needs relatively flat ground because he's got a plan. This is step one. There's going to be a plan. He's going to want to move closer. And the Jews in some form are going to attack. And it's best for the Romans, the way they fight and the way they deploy their troops, to have flat land. You don't want to take any advantage you can get. So let's demolish this stuff, but let's also kind of flatten the area so we can see what's going on and we can deploy our troops, because clearly they're not going to give up. It's time for fisticuffs. And so he's getting ready.
Well, that's part of it. I think part of it is they want to chop down the trees because they've got shit they need to build. And the shit that they're going to build, they're going to need to push up to the walls of the city to scale the walls, smash down the walls and scale the walls. They're going to build siege towers. They're going to build ballistae. They're going to build battering rams. They're going to use the wood to build the things, but then they need to roll it over the ground. To get it, so it's got to be
exactly.
So
and Jewish
Josephus,
Good word. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Jewish wood. You going with
Jewish
someone
wood's
with
best
that?
wood.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
Oy vey.
go.
So it's not just destruction for the sake of it; it's clearance work,
Right.
right?
There's
We got to we got to strip the land, clear the land, flatten the land. It's phase one. Josephus says trees were now cut down immediately, and the suburbs left naked, which sounds sexy, but I don't think
Yeah,
it
it
was.
does.
So, from your
No.
vantage point up on the wall, you're seeing basically
Right.
step one. The Romans are
Yeah.
just destroying, clearing everything. Modern estimates
Yeah.
suggest almost 20 kilometers of surrounding countryside were deforested.
Damn.
Any hills were flattened, any gullies, ravines were filled up. The timber doesn't become firewood, it becomes war architecture.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
they were not just building war machines, they were also building stakes, planks, fascines. Do you know what fascines are, Ray?
We covered this once. What? No, I can't remember. What is a fascine?
Well, we know what the fascia were.
And the fascist.
Well,
No,
the
go
fascist
ahead.
comes from the fascia.
Right.
We know that the consuls would walk around Rome with a bundle of rods that were,
That's
I
sexy.
think, symbolized the power of the masses, strength in numbers, kind of a thing.
Exactly. Because it tied it with ribbons and stuff like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So fascines were thick bundles of branches that were tied together. It was a Swiss army tool of ancient siege works. If you
Right.
needed to stabilize earth or you needed to stabilize defenses, you'd put
Right.
lots of bundles of twigs in there to act as sort of stabilization, but a buffer too,
I
to
like
prop
that.
things up, to give them a little bit of bounce if they get hit with a spear or an arrow or a rock or something that's thrown at
Yeah.
them. But you can
Cushion.
fill holes in the ground too, right? So if you've got a big hole, you can fill them
Right.
up with these things and then put planks on top of them to help you get
Right.
across. So the Romans
Smart.
obviously are experts at engineering and building all of this stuff to get ready for the attack. Titus divides the army into 3 work parties and orders them to raise 3 huge banks against the northern wall, like sloping artificial hills, layer upon layer upon layer of earth and timber, slowly creeping towards the city. It provides a defense mechanism too, because if most of your troops are behind this big mound of earth that you're building, it's hard to shoot them with arrows and rocks.
Right.
It also enables you to push your ballistae up there so they've got a higher line of attack. And also you're going to be pushing them closer and closer to the walls. So you've got like a sloping ramp as you're getting up closer and closer to the walls. So again, imagine you're a citizen of Jerusalem. Daily you get up on the walls just to check it out, see how things are going. You just see the Romans
It's just coming. It's just
methodically,
it's coming at you.
yeah,
Yeah,
every
yeah.
day they're inching closer, burning shit down, and then inching closer and closer and closer.
Yeah. They're using your shit to attack you.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, you're right. Being methodical, and they're all, again, this is Rome, fucking engineers. So this is not going to be some half-ass shit. Unless they tear it down later, it's going to be there for a while. So just that steady, drip, drip, drip of progress. They're coming ever closer to you, and you're like, okay, we got 3 walls. Is 3 walls enough? Cheryl, could we get committee together? We're about to find out if 3 walls is enough to keep the Romans out.
It reminds me of this book I'm reading at the moment on China. It's called Breakneck by Dan Wong. He's a Chinese-American scholar who's written about the current sort of differences between China and America. And his basic summary that he's been talking about a lot on the media is America is a country run by lawyers. Most of the people in Congress lawyers, have got a background as lawyers, and lawyers live to stop stuff from happening. That's basically the job of lawyers.
Right.
China is a country run by engineers. Deng Xiaoping, when he was running things in the late 70s and the 80s into the early 90s, apparently stacked the Politburo with engineers because he knew he needed to build the country. And that's been maintained ever since him. So under Jimin and under Xi Jinping, they have continued to stack all of the senior echelons of the CCP with people with engineering backgrounds. So
Correct.
he said, China's a
Yeah.
country run by engineers. America's a country run by lawyers. Engineers build
Yeah.
shit. They're very, very, very good at building shit. Sometimes they build too much shit. Sometimes they build
Yeah.
cities that they don't need. Sometimes they
So sue
build
me.
roads that they don't
Yeah.
need.
Yeah. Right.
But
Yeah.
they, we remember during the early days of COVID, China was building a new hospital every like 3.7 days.
Throwing it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they could.
They build
Because
high-speed rail all over the place. He has
Yeah.
some great sort of comparisons in the book. There's some high-speed rail that's supposedly being built in California, I think, supposed to stretch from one end of California to the other. It's been going for like 10 or 15 years, and they've built about 3 feet. And China, they've built,
Right.
enough high-speed rail in the
Kilometers.
last 10 years to go to
Yeah.
the moon and back.
Right.
Anyway,
Could I just say real
Rome at the
quick?
time was the China of the ancient world. They're run by engineers. Yes, you can say real quick.
So the laugh is on them because I don't know if you've been, because I know you're a news junkie like me, if you know what's going on. I think it's the University of Oklahoma where the girl wrote the paper and she did not do the assignment. She did not get the assignment. She basically wrote about God and they gave her a 0, and the professor or the associate professor, whatever it was, got in trouble because religious persecution. So we've both said this, but it's stories like this that I go, we really are heading into an American dark age. We've parsed out that dark age might be going too far, but there was a lot less reading, there was a lot less writing, there was a lot less schools to go to. But I do think America's entering a new dark age. So anyway, so they might have engineers, but we've got God on our side. So I don't know. This is a visual aid. God beats engineers. So we'll see who has the last laugh. But yeah.
That's like,
we'll
it's a serious point too, because as we've talked about many times, and I talked about it on the documentary, like the Jews then as now believed that their God was the only God. Well, originally they believed he was the most powerful of the gods, if you read the Old Testament. And then at some point they decided, fuck all those other gods. He's just the only God now. It's not how it started. Yeah. And then they believed that they were chosen by him. They were his special people. He had their backs. He was going to look out for them. He was going to make sure that they ruled the world. He was going to send the Messiah that was going to,
damn right,
get them out of shit.
Yeah.
So we don't even need walls. We could leave the gates open with a big "come on in, the water's fine" sign, because our God is going to protect us. God is great.
Don't know how exactly. Yes, I don't know exactly how, but we don't need to know. In fact, if you do ask, does that mean you're not being faithful? You know what I'm saying? So don't have the faith of a child.
Yeah.
Don't think, just believe. Anyway, sorry for that little tangent.
No, it's a relevant point. I'm sure some of them were saying that. Some of them were walking around going, "Everyone, just calm the fuck down. God's got it. We're going to be good. Don't worry about the Romans. Stop getting up on the wall every day. Why are you getting up on the wall and panicking? Don't panic. God's got it.
Sarah, get down. Everybody's looking up your dress. Get down off the wall.
I passed the steering wheel to God. God, take the wheel. That's what they were saying. God, take the wheel.
Yes, there we go. The first version of that
song were being written.
Exactly. Anyway, we should probably.
So they're probably shooting the Jews. This is the defenders at the Romans from the wall, shooting their arrows, throwing their spears, throwing rocks. They do have some weapon machines that they captured from Cestius Gallus years earlier, when the Romans had first gone in to try and quieten down the Jews. I think like 66, something like that, before Vespasian got involved. Gallus went in and lost a couple of battles. So the Jews managed to get their hands on some Roman, siege weapons, ballistae, and those sorts of things, scorpions. But they don't know how to use them very well. So, they're a bit like the greatest American hero. They've got the super suit from the aliens in the suitcase.
I'm wearing it right now. Wearing it right now. Look.
They're wearing the suit,
yeah.
but they didn't get the instruction manual, and so they don't know how to use the super suit. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I would feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just Titus.
Where were we?
Fuck, I love that show as a kid.
Yeah. Oh, made no sense. But when you're a kid, it doesn't have to. But no, you're right. They've got this equipment, but it's either an inherent skill or something you learn, whatever. But, and I think there were even a few, and I find this hard to believe, but what do I know? There were even supposedly a few Roman deserters somewhere, either now or in the past, showing them, look, you do this, you put it here, you pull it back, you make it tight, and then you aim. I cannot stress this enough. Aiming is very important. And then you let fly, brother. You let fly. But for whatever reason, they couldn't quite get it. And so the Romans are coming closer to the walls. And yes, they're being shot at, but accuracy is not exactly the Jewish skill that they would like it to be. So,
well, they got very good at it. In Gaza.
Right. No, yeah. After a while.
Now they're getting their own back.
Mm-hmm.
They've just flattened in Gaza.
Good point.
For Stadio.
Yeah.
And the West Bank too, if they get their way. So they're hauling these machines up to the top of parapets, trying to shoot at the Romans, but the Romans know how to protect themselves against this kind of stuff. It's not that really much of an issue for them. This is what they're good at.
Right.
Protecting themselves while they're building shit.
Exactly.
So, I mean, occasionally a stone may come down and hit someone, or an arrow or something gets a Roman here or there, but they're protected by dirt and hurdles.
Yes.
Some donkeys they put in the way. Just build walls of donkeys. Donkeys on top of donkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donkey field. Instead of force field, it's a donkey field. Don't read too much into that.
But gradually, coming up behind the Romans are the siege machines that are getting built out of the wood that they tore down. Ballistae.
Right.
Josephus singles out the 10th Legion, the Latensis. He says their stone throwers are more forcible and larger than the rest.
Yeah.
They were able to hurl stones of a talent in weight for 2 furlongs and further. So a talent is like 20 to 30 kilograms a stone. Look, American, because fuck you for not using kilograms.
Right.
And they 100 meters or more. And again, I'm not going to translate that into American because fuck you for not getting under the rest of the world.
Yeah,
archaeology supports this because in 2016, excavations beneath the part of the wall called the Russian compound uncovered more than 70 carefully shaped white limestone balls around 60 pounds each. I guess that's your 30 kilograms.
Yeah.
Lying where they'd fallen after smashing into the outer walls during this siege.
That's amazing. Well, first of all, the 10th Fretensis Legion, they had the original motto, go big or go home, which is why their siege equipment was, I don't think they were overcompensating. I think they just believed bigger was better. Anyways, but imagine a 60-pound boulder, whatever, just slamming. I don't know what the speed is, but it's probably got to be pretty impressive in order to not fall to the ground, right? So slamming into a wall. And if they found 70 of them, how many were possibly shot at that wall? I mean, it's just, I'm sure that wall was shaken and not in a good way, but we're talking about impressive amounts of force that was 2,000 years ago.
I weigh 90 kilos, so each one is about a third of my weight.
Right. So if you just ball up. Right. No, go ahead.
Yeah. If I just get in a ball, yeah. I curl up in a ball at least once or twice a day. Now, Josephus says the stones could be seen by their brightness.
Oh, right.
So these white limestone balls are shiny, and the ballistae are the hundreds of meters away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Jews can see them coming. It takes, I guess, some seconds for a ball to get flung. And these ballistae are loud. When they're cranking them up, they're loud. When they let them go, they're loud. They can see the balls coming.
Right.
So it gives them a bit of a warning, the Jews, to duck and cover. They're all
Right.
getting under their desks.
Right.
And he says that they were shouting out what he translated into Greek. It would have been Aramaic, but the sun comes. The sun,
The sun.
S-O-N,
Right.
comes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Apparently,
Yeah.
that was a pun on the Aramaic word for stone. The word for sun was ben. The one for stone was eben.
Oh.
So instead of saying stone coming, they were saying sun coming. Apparently, that was hilarious. That was like
Right.
the pinnacle of stand-up comedy. That was Dave Chappelle level stand-up comedy in Jerusalem circa 70 CE.
Right. There's first,
Yeah.
I can't stress this enough. First you duck, then you laugh. For those few
Then
who
you cover.
then you cover exactly.
Oh.
No, but the point is that if you laughed first and then tried to hide, the stone might get you. To me, it reminded me of that scene in the movie 300 where they've all locked their shields and the arrows are coming through, blocking out the sun, and the arrows are partially coming through the shield, and the guys just start the Leonidas and his guys just start laughing, but again, yeah, so they're firing this. They probably got what, 3 to 5, maybe 7 seconds, because these are white balls coming at them. And so, yeah, so they're able to get out of the way or to hide or whatever when the balls come. So clearly the Romans need to up their game is what they need to do, because the white balls aren't working.
Well, we know that the only thing better than white balls are black balls, Ray. We've all heard that. That's common knowledge. So the Romans start to blacken their balls.
Well, see, the secret,
They go blackface.
no, well, BBB, big black balls, and it's
Yeah, right.
It's a little harder to see. I don't know what time of the day, maybe because if you did it early in the morning or late in the evening, it's harder to see. But I imagine there were a few Jews on the wall who were knocked down like pins in a bowling alley. So again, if they can spot it white, make it black. Black is the way to go.
I don't really understand how that helps. Why a black ball was harder to see than a white ball, but apparently they used some combination of soot and ash
Right.
to darken the balls. But apparently it worked disturbingly well.
Well, if you had black balls coming at you, you know what? Let's not talk about that. Let's just move on. But maybe it was psychological warfare. I don't. Anyway.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so they're just throwing these
Marine
balls at the walls. Some of them are going over the walls, smashing into the city, the
Yes.
houses and whatever is behind the first wall. And it's just nonstop.
Yeah.
You imagine the fear. I mean, it's not unlike, I guess, being in parts of Ukraine or Gaza or whatever today, waiting for drones or bombs to drop out of the sky.
Yeah.
You're just getting on with your knitting,
And so,
doing the stuff that you got to do.
yes,
You're sitting on the toilet, on the dunny, on the WC.
not bothering
You're,
anybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Reading Twitter,
That's right.
reading Truth Social. So
Yeah.
much truth on Truth Social.
Getting all worked up. Yeah. Yeah.
Reading Trump's long, unhinged rants, and all of a sudden you hear the crack of a ballistae, and you're like, I wonder where this one's going to land, and come smashing down between your legs.
Oh, and we should probably, I don't know.
I came in here to drop some bombs, but this is ridiculous.
But boom. Anyway, so the Romans had at least 200 artillery pieces, and so I don't know how many of the big ones they had, but I imagine, like you said, all throughout the day, just balls slamming into walls. I mean, how could that not freak you out? And again, the Jews on their walls can see, the third wall to the north, not as strong as the other ones, maybe start giving way.
So again, if you're a Roman, this is just par for the course,
Yeah.
right? You're just laying
it's a
siege
Tuesday.
to
Yeah.
a city,
Yeah.
but you're camped outside of the walls. You've got to source food, you've got to source water, you've got to build shelter. There is still the occasional party of Jews sneaking out in the middle of the night, coming
Sneaky
and
Jews.
trying to do a
Yeah.
raid, do a sneak guerrilla attack. You're fighting against that
Right.
But really, if you're a Roman soldier, you just want this over with as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
So you can
Yeah.
get back to some sort of normal life with 3 square meals,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
and no fear of being attacked. You're just doing your job. You're just trying to
I punch
crush
in.
this city as quickly
Yeah.
as possible
Yeah. Yeah.
and get out.
It's not
The
personal.
Jews, again, you're just being surrounded and hammered nonstop by this.
Yeah.
How do you can't defend against these things. You can't defend against balls that are smashing into your walls and into your city and into your homes and into
Right.
you and your friends.
It's luck. Yeah.
You're just counting down. Like, how maybe you're hoping God's going to send someone to save you.
Yeah.
You've grown up on stories about God saving the city, the great
Yeah.
city of Jerusalem that
Yeah.
has never been taken. Well, not since the last time it was taken by Pompey, I guess, was the last person to take Jerusalem.
Gallus, did Gallus? No, I don't think Gallus. He got took.
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
They wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
This wouldn't be going on if Gallus had been victorious.
Right.
I think it was Pompey, which was century more, like, 80, 90 CE, something like that.
Right. But to address your main theme, I think that all the Jews knew that if they had been reading the Bible or had it read to them, that God, bit dramatic. He's going to rescue. Of course, he's going to rescue them. That's even stupid to have to say that. It's when he's going to wait till the right moment to bring up the tension, to bring up the drama. This is going to be one of those really cool moments. It's like an hour and 20 minutes into the film, and then boom, there's you know what I'm saying. So it's going to happen. It's just not yet. You just gotta.
The cavalry just comes over
from heaven.
It's like Napoleon at Waterloo.
Yeah.
Kicking the British ass left, right, and center.
Yeah, he was.
Wellington got nothing.
Yeah.
Wellington had his best shot.
Yeah.
Formed his squares. It
Shot
didn't work.
Yeah.
Napoleon, motherfucker.
That's
he doesn't
right.
give a shit
He's
about
Napoleon
squares.
you.
Build your squares. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. He sends in his protective guard. The Imperial Guard, they're rushing in. It's all over, bar the shouting. It's 4:00 in the afternoon. Sun's starting to set.
This is done, son.
And then God sends Blucher and the Prussians.
Prussians. Fine. This close.
Is what Napoleon says.
This close.
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah, I missed it by that much. So the Jews are waiting for that last minute Blucher arrival.
Yeah.
But so far it ain't coming.
No. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, if you're a Jew, you're probably wondering, is this a test? Is this a punishment? Have we not been good enough Jews? Is this the end of days or just another imperial storm? We've held the Romans off for quite a few years now. We can continue to hold them off.
Yeah. Everything's a test. If that was a question. Everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, everything's a test. But if you're a Roman on the outside, like you believe in all the gods,
right?
You've probably heard about this Jewish God.
Yeah.
You've heard that the Jews at least believe that their God is a very powerful God, and that you're not a skeptical atheist. You believe in the gods,
the pantheon,
and
or whatever.
you don't really know. Or maybe he is going to send a Jesus army. We don't know. Never heard of Jesus, but maybe he's going to. I'm just making up a name here. Maybe he's going to send something. We don't know.
Right. I'm just doing my job.
But that's it. So the Romans are just doing their job day in and day out. The banks creep closer to the walls. The artillery duel gets nastier. Both sides are slowly being cooked in a stew of fear and duty and faith and exhaustion.
Yeah, intense.
And I guess that's where we'll leave this episode. The Romans circumvallating the city of Jerusalem in 70 CE.